Namaste, hello, and welcome you in the series of cybersecurity. And today, just we will discuss about the password management, why it's important to understand what type of attack can happen, and why it's so important to manage your password. So, guys, just be ready and just see whatever we can explore and see how it's very important to understand why password should be taken care. Okay, so let me just discuss with you one incident. One day in our company, Mr. Sharma just came to us, and our system admin, Mr. Utsav, and me was just sitting, and we were having some discussion. And when Mr. Sharma just came to us, he was very worried and confused about, oh, Mr. Utsav, I'm not able to give the password to my system. It's not accepting. It's showing some error, and whatever the password I'm using, it's saying you have to change the password. So, but when I'm just giving password 12345, it's not it's not expecting accept it. So it's just showing me some error. So Mr. Utsav said to him, "Mm, you have to give the password a strong password, a complex password." And then he said, What's that? And why I need? I just want to keep the things simple so I can remember the password, whatever I just gave it. Then he asked to me, Ma'am, please, could you just explain to him why we need those thing just to give a strong password or a complex password, and if we will not use, what will be the consequences we have to bear? So I said, okay. So I say, Mr. Sharma, just don't be in panic, and just have sit down, and we will discuss why you need to give a strong password. I just asked to him, for example, if you at your home you are having some valuable things, some jewelries, some secret documents of your property or some other documents, where do you keep them? Then he said, I just keep them in a safe. And I then asked, do you have the locker on it? Do you have some lock system on that? Yeah, I do. And uh, is it so easy to break that safe, whatever you are using at your home? Say no. So, and so I then asked, do you other in your family members or somebody else is having the same key what you use to open that locker? Say no. Just I'm just having only one key, and that's with me. Uh, then I ask, okay, and at your main door of your home, are you using some lock system or some lock or something just to secure it? Are you using it? Then he said, yes, I'm using a lock. And then I said, are you using the same key for which you use for your safe and uh, for the main gate key? Is it different or it's the same? And he asked, no, that's different. And then I asked him, okay, Mr. Sharma, just think for a moment. If you are using the same key which you use for the safe and the main door, and the keys are available to the market, and anyone can purchase those key, which key you are using. So, will those, whatever the valuable things you are having at your home, will be safe? Say no. Then anyone can make a robbery at your home and can steal your data, your uh, documents, your jewelry, or whatever you are having at your home. They can say yes, of course they can. Okay, then what do you do to make the things more secure? Then he said, I'm just using a very good company locker, and over there just I'm using a wonderful, they promised me this key uh, is not available to anyone, so it's a unique key I'm just using for that. So okay, the the same thing also applicable, Mr. Sharma, in case of computer, because computer is just not only a device where just we are doing some office work. It's having some important document where we are placing. It's having some important information that is related to our we can say our secret documents, some financial information we are using. For example, if we are making some transition just to purchase something or paying our bills, that information we are also keeping in our computer. Okay, so if somebody will send some malicious program and it will just steal your password. Password is also a, it's just a key for your system. It's just similar to a key of the locker you are using at your home or your bank or whatever where you are using. So just to make this secure, we have some policies. That's why we implemented some policies. So your computer is asking within a month or just after 1 month, after 30 days, you have to change your password, and the password should not be the previous one. Because if we will use the same key or the key that's matching with the previous key, it's very easy for a person who is having the knowledge of your previous key. That's why we just implemented some policy. This is for the security of your data, your resources on your computer. Because if some attack will happen on your computer, this is just not only bound to your computer only. It will just separate all over the network. It can damage to the complete company's systems, company's devices. That's why just we have implemented it. So then I was able to convince him, yes, you should use the a strong password. Then I explained what is strong password. Strong password, we said, okay, we have some characters. So, for example, just we define a 8 character key. Long, if you will keep long key, it will be better, because when somebody will crack your password, it needs some processing power if they just use some brute force. So for the key combination, definitely if we are having the long key, then they need to put a lot of effort to crack it down. Okay, so we also added some making it difficult. We say, okay, just use capital letters, use numbers, use some symbols. Okay, so that's make a complex password. Clear? Then Mr. Samra said, okay, now just I understood what is a complex password. Then he asked me, ma'am, can you just explain something like what if I will not use that password, or how the hackers are cracking those passwords? Then say, okay, let me just share with you how this is they are doing, and what should you do, okay, just to securing your data. Then guys, just I present him some information and how just you can do. Okay, so in case of attackers, when attackers are just using, how just they are collecting that information. Okay, attackers is not the guy who is outside your system. Somebody, a colleague of yours, he just having some intention to steal your password, so that they can see what's in on your computer, or this they can steal, or this they can just copy the document what is on your system. Okay, so attackers, we can say, they are using different ways to find out what password is you are using. Clear? It can be social engineering. Sometimes they are just make a phone call to you to know your password, okay, or they will ask some questions related to that one. Okay, they will say, okay, I want to update something, or new the software just came in market, just let's test it. So what's your password? Okay, so just they're just trying to find out what is the password they are using. Sometime when we just type password, somebody is just standing behind us, and then they just look whatever the password we entered. They can use that methods as well. And somebody know what is generally you use for the password. You, for example, you are using password for your wife, girlfriend, okay, name, okay, and then with the date of birth. So just he or she knows about your whatever loving one, and they just enter that password and with the date of birth. Okay, or sometimes you are using password that's generally, for example, love 123, or it can be something which is generally available in dictionary, so it's easy to find out. And sometime just they use the hash value, whatever they get from your system, and they put it into the brute force attack, where the possible combination of the words, letters, special characters they put. For example, they know the password generally Mr. Sharma used 8 character, and they just fix a criteria and with the number, letters, and then they just find out the combination of with that one. So they can use different methods. There are more other methods, clear. And they can use different tools to find out whatever the passwords you are using, okay, like Cain and Abel, or password Windows password recovery tools, okay, John the Ripple. So there are multiple tools, guys. They can use to crack the password, whatever the password you are using. This is there is a long list of those tools which they can use to crack the password. Sometimes they send a malicious code, you can say virus or Trojan or keygen to your system. So whatever the hash value you are having, they just extract that, and then this hash value is just a combination of some letters and words, whatever the password you will enter, and they will get they in some a long password, long values, that's not making any sense, okay, so some random numbers generated. So they can use that hash value to uh, generate the password, okay. So there are multiple ways they can collect the information, clear. So just I will just share the output of one of the a very famous software, and just I just crack the some password, and I will share with you how that software will send that information to you, okay. So I explained to Mr. Sharma, see, this is left crack 7 software, and it's a very famous software. For example, a attacker is having a hash value, and somehow this they entered in your computer and collect the hash value, okay, of the password, and they entered the value in it. As you can see, the number one is the username is administrator, and this I gave the password is a complex password, so that it just took time and was not able to crack it. But on the number 3 4 5 6, the password just I kept a very simple password, u11 or u22 for the user one, okay. So and it's just took only 9 seconds to crack it down on my laptop, that password. So and it's just easily they can crack that password. So I just told to Mr. Sharma, if you will use very simple password with the dictionary words, or you are not using the complex password, it will be very easy for attackers to crack it down within just few seconds. or if you will use complex passwords, it will take too much time for the attackers to crack it down, or that will not be possible to crack it down. Okay, so I asked him, that's why you should use. And then he told me, ma'am, now just I understood why you are telling this, the password should be the uh, long enough and the complex enough. Okay, then I told Mr. Sharma, if you will use very simple password, there are lot of website on internet, even attackers can use those website, like the the devices we are placing, or the sometimes the password in the Windows, for example, this we are using a Windows operating system, or some Linux operating system, or some other for example, we installed a D-Link router for wireless, and it's just we haven't changed the password. Simple, what are the password factory set password was there, and we haven't changed it. So those passwords are available easily. You can find it, for example, on open dash zes.me. I just collected that data from that website. And over there, you can find out whatever the default passwords for different devices, operating systems. So if we will not change, we are giving our key to the crackers. Yes, just you need not to put much of effort to do cracking it down. It's very simple. Just this is the default key we kept, and then you can use this default key to crack our security of our system. Okay, so even guys, when you are using the system, if the default settings are there, default keys are there, default password are there, just immediately change it before using it. Otherwise, attacker can use that one and they can use against you. Okay, so it's a very necessary to just change the those default key. Okay, and then Mr. Sharma asked, okay, madam, is there any system we can create the complex password by default, or just by random we can create? Then say, yeah, there are even many websites on internet, they are freely available. Over there you can generate the strong passwords and you can use for your system. And I just surf on the internet and found some information, like on Norton websites, you can create just strong password. Just you need to click on just generate the password and it will generate. Okay, so there are more even websites over there, you can create the password. For example, here are which are you do you want to use letters, character, special character, or just numbers, how much the length you want to keep. This is another example of the password generator.net. Over there you can also generate the password. So if you, because these passwords really very difficult to crack it down, because they just generate the random numbers and it's very secure. Okay, so guys, even you can use these type of websites to generate the password with the strong, with the complexity, more complexity and more strength. Okay, then I also told to Mr. Sharma, don't write those password on the plain paper, because if you will write somewhere, okay, and if somebody will see that when they will use, then there is no use of using any strong password if you are providing that information to everyone. And also I also shared some tips to him, what things you should do in case of when you are using password. First of all, use the strong password and don't use the default password. And when you are using the password, don't use the personal information, because those personal information are anyone can know it, and this is those information easily can be cracked down. Okay, and don't use your relatives name or the friend's name with that. Okay, and I told him, don't write those password anywhere. So if anyone will get those password, easily they can log in on your system, on your accounts, where you are using those passwords. Okay, frequently change those passwords. Somebody, for example, if they just crack it down, so you will be able, if you will change it, definitely whatever the password they are having, they need new password. Or if some security alerts you received from website, just keep observing it, is the link is coming from the legitimate website. Sometimes even attackers can generate a link, fake link. For example, you are saying, they are saying your password of the Facebook has been hacked, so guys just change your password. Even the, just closely observe where are you are receiving those links, is that legitimate or not. Okay, if you have to share your password with somebody, don't send in plain text or uh, in a simple text. Just share. If you have to share, first of all, don't share. If you, some in some situation you have to share, then share it securely. Okay, and change it after just sharing it. Clear? And another thing, if you are right now, nowadays we are using so many accounts, logging here and there, it's very difficult to manage all the passwords, whatever the passwords just we give, it's very hard to remember. So guys, password managers also available in market in different companies. They are sometimes they are free, or they are paid. So just you can also use, if you want to uh, be free of that thing. Yes, I don't want to remember the password, just they will provide you a key, just you have to remember that key and the password. Whatever the passwords you will use, they will generate the password for strong password, and that password you will use for login. That's their headache to remember it. Okay, so just security guys in your hand. If you will follow some basic things, you can make your system, your devices hard to break. Okay, so for the day, that was what I wanted to share with you guys. And even Mr. Sharma was convinced, yes, we should use strong password. And we then he just promised me, yes, uh, I will follow this thing. And even we just organized a complete training to all the employee, why this security system, why the password security is important to our organization. Okay, so guys, be safe, be secure. Okay, so for the day, that's all. And tomorrow I will discuss with you guys a very important topic: how attackers are sending malicious code. That can be a virus in your file, in Word document, it can be in a PDF, or some, even you cannot imagine, that can be in your image. Okay, so tomorrow I will share with you how the attackers are sending malicious code. So see you tomorrow. For the time being, namaste and be safe.